wasn't expecting such a grandiose visit, my king, and I see that you were brought here by some lad. That's kind of you, stranger. But you'll have to pardon the mess. These halls ain't fit to welcome a king, nor the one who bears him within. This, kind lad, is the tomb of the knight who never came. There was once a grim legend that claimed this tomb was built out of fear. Fear of an ancient curse Morgana cast upon Arthur. She foretold that all the great knights who were denied the king's favour and honours would rise at the end of days as an army of the dead. They would march on Camelot, seize the capital, shatter the Round Table to dust, defile the royal rep, but those are just stories from the old days. Ah, right. Sometimes I forget that not everything's as clear as it once was. Truth but to the point. My name is Gavonin. I'm a craftsman, a blacksmith, and the keeper of this place. The pleasure is mine, kind lad. And your grace, of course. Anyone who finds their way here usually comes seeking eternal rest. And rest like that calls for a proper gravestone. I carve each one with my own chisel. They also bring battle-scarred equipment. My hammer mends what needs mending, so it will serve them well in the land of the dead. And the dead? Well, they need a keeper. Someone to watch over them when unrest stirs. Believe me, those who chase glory in life don't always lie in peace. Really kind of you, lad, but no. You see, I once made a habit of carving gravestones in advance, so that any knight arriving here could choose the one beneath which they'd rest for eternity. Unfortunately, I've misplaced my chisel. It slipped and fell all the way into the depths. Clang, clang, clang. If you could find it, I would be most grateful. If we do not speak of them, then we won't stir their slumber. The dead prefer silence. Best not to call their names. Hope you find something worth your time. Glad to No, I'm bound here by an oath I made to his grace, but he is perfectly fine. It is my home. This tomb opens only for two kinds of brave souls. Knights who were never granted a seat at the Round Table, and the king himself. I've been sitting here long enough to know what kind of knight visits the tomb. Aye, few in knights these days, and even less knighthood to speak of. No wonder that so few of them come. Such are the times we live in. Safe travel.
left us waiting. Your tomb's gathered quite a lot of cobwebs and spiders. Best tidy up a little before you settle in for eternity. Ah, of course. Of all the forgotten knights who never came, you stand closest to the king. When you finally join us, you'll tell us what it was like to hear his voice, to share so many battles by his side. I won't deny my envy, but in death, you'll be our equal. And then we'll speak as comrades. I've met many who said the same, loudly and proud, their bones now line for sooner or later. You'll find yourself, so yeah, no bold promises, unless they carry some. I've been resting in a tomb for the past 3 centuries, so not much, really. I've been resting in a tomb for, unless, of course, you're pointing out that I'm not in my own grave, in which case, fair enough. I came to this tomb of my own accord, as did many of us. I knew our time was drawing to a close. I had a few words with Govanon and then headed with my own gravestone on my back. I treated it as my penance. Sometimes, when men want something badly, and I killed 5 knights. Each one stood higher than me in the race for 4 I cut down during a tournament. The last I drowned in a river. He was drunk as a skunk. Quite the burden to repent for. Fine, lad. If someone's to watch over my corpse, I imagine long ago he had more to do. Go on then. I see. You pity the wretch who never... But I propose something. If I lose with dignity, I am all yours. But if you... then you'll lie in the tomb. So... Splendid. Lost. Oh, how I missed that rush. As I promised, I'll serve the 2 of you. Here is my oath. I shall be ready to fight at your side whenever you should call upon me. Thank you.
Glad to see you. Ah, Savas still lingers then. I'm not surprised. Some knights wear death like a cloak, and even the grave forgets to close behind them. As for the empty grave, every soul that walks this tomb finds their name carved somewhere. It doesn't mean the end is near, only that the place remembers who you are, even if you forget. When the body finally rests in the grave, the epitaph completes itself. You did? I was starting to fear that one day I'd have to descend to the lower levels myself. I try not to go that deep. Makes me drowsy. Sometimes I feel like lying down in one of the empty tombs myself. Thank you. It is a great honor to receive aid from the king and his companion. Here, take this. I hope you both will find it useful. Step carefully.
It must be hard to be denied what you believed was your destiny. To spend your life chasing the unattainable, only to die unfulfilled. It's no wonder they can't find peace. There is a grave ready for all of us somewhere. Though, maybe not all of us get to see it before it's our time. Did it frighten you? Such a stark reminder of your mortality. Why? Not your kind of company? Don't worry. I doubt anything could make you. You'll rest where you choose, or where you fall. Some souls are meant to wander longer, to carry the stories forward, rather than be buried with them. Whatever you decide, I'm sure Avalon will remember. You've lit the way for some. Now light it for the rest.
won't even let me rest in peace. I'm not talking to you, you mongrel. I'm speaking to the one hiding inside you, like a coward.
Let me speak to him, young one. Galahad, my friend, we come to you in our hour of need.
It wasn't enough to tamper with immortality on your own. You had to drag us into it too. Do you know, it was only after I died that I understood what you'd done. Becoming a Four-Dweller, Arthur. Really?
I've always valued your counsel, Galahad. But we were losing the war, and you were no longer at my side. I had no choice but to try becoming as powerful as they were.
Nonsense. There's always a choice, and you have made the worst one. How could you fraternize with the enemy? Go against everything we fought for? You're right. I wasn't there. If I had been, I'd have beaten you to death with my bare fists before letting you follow the advice of that old charlatan.
It was my choice, not Merlin's.
Keep telling yourself that. I know the truth. I always knew the old man was a manipulator. And you had too much on your shoulders to see what he was really doing.
I respect your opinion, Galahad. I only regret that we meet under these circumstances.
As do I. So, what now? You're taking my remains for a little trip. And I'm supposed to serve you again? Not that you're giving me a choice. If you take me from this place, my essence will be bound to your will. I never really had a choice, did I? The war, your transformation. It would have happened with or without me.
Probably, yes. But now, at least we can see it through to the end.
Do what you want. It's not like I have a choice. This'll be the last time you hear me fully aware.
Then, is there anything you want to say to me, Galahad?
Just one thing. May the weirdness take you, traitor.
So, it is done. Now everything rests in your hands. Their souls, and the fate of Avalon. There is. But before I explain, understand this. I haven't lied to you. What we've done has helped. Those tormented souls and Avalon itself. But it's not the whole story. Arthur and his king still need to be released into the Wordness. I can make that happen. Not yet, but it's a choice you'll have to face when the time comes. Nothing. Avalon will go on, as it always has. But ask yourself, is that the right path? Should people live in fear of the Wordness, generation after generation? Should they carry on, haunted by an incomprehensible threat? Or should they be allowed to embrace it, to become part of it, without fear? No, I want them to be more. My people may be close to the Wordness, but even we aren't immune to its more violent moods. What I want is for the people of Avalon to embrace the Wordness, and for it to embrace them in return. Arthur and his knights are the pillars of humanity in Avalon, and His Majesty's soul is unique, part human, part Four-Dweller. It's the best combination we could hope for, if we want to survive here. Releasing their souls into the Wordness would leave a permanent mark of humanity on this land. The Wordness wouldn't see us as intruders anymore, but as part of itself. Arthur and his knights worked tirelessly to make Avalon ours. This is their chance to finish what they started. Thank you. That's all I ask. And before you go, there's one last thing I'd like to do. I hereby welcome you as a full member of the Royal Geographers. May you carry the legacy of Iryu the Farstrider and Eleanor Dunn. May your paths be clear, your burdens light, and may Avalon remember your name. Farewell, traveler. I hope our paths cross again.
Meeting him made me reflect on one thing. How many great knights were swallowed by their ambition to sit at the round table. Somewhere along the way, things must have gone terribly wrong. If men could kill one another for something that was meant to be an honor, I pity the lost knights of this world. I'm glad this one will have a chance to fight at his king's side and serve me, as he always wished to. Galahad. I should have known he wouldn't be too happy about being brought back, but I hoped he'd died in peace and would return in peace. I was wrong. War isn't a time when you can afford likes and dislikes. Galahad was a great warrior. He made decisions no other commander dared to. But would he have been a good leader in times of peace? I doubt it. That's why news of his death in battle came as a relief to me. Men like him, once they gain momentum, are nearly impossible to stop. In that regard, he and Galahad the Pure were quite alike. He led a dangerous expedition, one of the most important of the Age of Conquest. Had it succeeded, the war might have ended much sooner, but it didn't. And so the fighting went on. After the war, I had his remains recovered and this tomb built. Over time, he came to be seen as a noble martyr. But who he really was, well, you've seen that for yourself. I regret the fate he met. Let's make sure his sacrifice wasn't in vain.
You doing okay?
You must have a lot. You need something? Welcome.
Oh, it's you. It's really great that you're here. I mean, I meant that I might need your help with a few small things, and that's why I'm glad to see you. And don't worry, this time it's not about replacing an ill heart. As far as I can tell, the one I got from you, it's doing just fine. I want to make something for a person dear to my heart. A battle hammer. Proper blacksmith's craftsmanship. Arthurian will appreciate such work, no doubt. But I need a few. For the shaft, I want to use black alder, a tree that grows in the swamp. As for the rest of the materials, I still need to think about. Thank you. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you because of some stupid piece of wood. Got something from... Aye, that's it. Good work bringing this to me. You chose well. The wood is young. It's going to be flexible and sturdy enough. Should do nicely for the hammer. I'm glad you didn't lose your way in the muck. Anyway, while you were gone, I made a decision about the hammerhead. I want to use the family iron for it. The thing is, it's buried in my parents' mound. I know it sounds like I'm asking you to desecrate a grave, but trust me, you won't find corpses there. It's a memory mound. In the past, when someone in Kunacht lost a loved one to the weirdness, their body was offered to the fire. It wasn't right to bury someone so horribly changed. Instead, I lost my father when I was 6. Mother worked herself to the bone, keeping me fed, and it wasn't always enough. I started working early, so we managed to scrape by. But she passed away a few years later. Weird night caught her. That's when I buried the family iron. The only thing I had left of my parents. I didn't want it to end up in the wrong hands. After that, I drifted from neighbor to neighbor. One house gave me warm stew, the next, a beating. Eventually, I ended up with Arthurian. He taught me everything I know. No, that was a long time. A lot has changed since then. I lost my heart. And then, you showed up and helped me get it back. And now, we've replaced that ill heart with a new one forged by a stone warden. Incredible, isn't it? Sounds like some stupid tale. But it's all thanks to you. So, about that iron, come back as soon as you manage to get it. If anything comes up, you know where to find me. What do you need? You're back. And for a moment, I was afraid I'd never see you again. After you left, I started wondering if maybe I'd asked too much of you. But it really is my family iron. I never thought I'd see it again. It's funny. I remember it feeling so much heavier. I'm glad the family iron won't be left in the cold ground anymore. I'll melt it down and craft something beautiful. Something new. So, we've got almost everything. Just one last thing remains. A whispering crystal. I've heard that Camelot was mining those crystals. That might be worth looking into. How you get one is up to you. But don't do anything foolish that'll land you in a cell, friend. Got something for me to look at? I guess I shouldn't care how you got it. What matters is that you're well. Looks like I've got everything I need now. I've already prepared a few pieces. Please, stay and rest. You've got to see the final result. So, truth be told, I'm not sure how to say this. I've never been good with words. Since I got this heart forged by the Stone Warden, something's changed. I don't fully understand it, but I can't stop thinking about you. By the All-Mother, it's so strange. And though I don't understand it, I know what I feel. I worry about you. I want to care for you. I want to give you warmth. The hammer I've been working on, it's for you. I hope you'll accept it, along with me, whole. I know you're not someone who likes to stay in one place. I'm not even sure if that's possible for you. Just know this. Whenever you need my embrace, I'll be here, waiting for you. Your face tells a story. Good or bad, I'll listen. Of course, my dearest. I will always listen to you. You found them? I only heard tales, back in the days when I was still a child. In Kunacht, parents used those stories to scare boastful kids, saying they'd end up in the abyss like them. Grand halls don't always mean grand hearts. I wonder if the stone holds more honesty than the ones who walk it. Faith can erode, just like the finest iron and steel. I don't want to imagine the terror that took place there. Those poor priestesses. They paid a terrible price for their devotion. Bravery or madness? Maybe both. Either way, you stood where few dare to tread. I'm glad you're here with me, able to share these stories. Of course. You're back.
Hello there.
So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. Philosophically, not you specifically, but someone like you. Literally. Yes, and I was getting quite bored with the wait. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of what happens when people fear what they don't understand. They spoke out. They should have stayed silent, kept to their herbs and potions, but they didn't. They believed their ancient knowledge, ugly and painful truths from times long past, could save Avalon from the plague. And maybe they were right. But people don't want the truth when it's covered in blood. Cruel rituals, sacrifices, hard choices in search of real results. They called it wisdom, knowledge gleaned from the weirdness itself. But to the people, everything they did was unnatural, costly, and frightening. The druids believed their results would justify the costs. They thought Avalon would see them as saviors. But the people didn't understand, and fear turned to fire. Well, the Red Church and their politicians made sure of that. The druids became a convenient enemy, a way to shift the blame and tighten their grip on power. It's always so simple, so banal, isn't it? Well, death doesn't always mean an ending. It was a sacrifice so costly, so cruel, so pointless, that it tore a rift in the fabric of this world. An ultimate wound. And so you're the closest you'll ever come to seeing the true shape of this world. To greet you, I was once where you are now. A knight with questions, searching for answers. That search led me to this place. And here I found my answers. Now it's your turn. Well, first, you're going to meet my former employer. We don't see eye to eye anymore, but we both realize that our collaboration yields results, as shown by you being here. He'll try to sugarcoat the hard truths I've been telling you from the beginning, spin them differently. Never mind. Why waste time here talking about it when you're just a step from the end? It's best if you just go forth and see for yourself. Just remember, this is the point of no return. Once you step through, there's no going back. But if you've come this far, I suppose you already knew that. Go on. He's waiting for you.
I've heard much about you. Your choices, your determination. Caradoc isn't easily impressed, but he was impressed with you. Few dare to seek the truth buried in Avalon's shadows. Fewer still make it this far. I was the first. Caradoc followed when my brethren burned and the tear opened. And now, here you are. A truly rare and joyful occasion. Oh, forgive my lack of manners. I am Orin, the last apprentice of Merlin, and the last archdruid of Avalon. I've carried the weight of this land's secrets longer than I care to admit. But names mean little. What matters is the task before us. What lingers here, it's older than Avalon. Older than anything we know. What you see is the beginning of weirdness itself. Its purest form, raw potential, unshaped by anything but its lack of boundaries and limits. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, precisely the opposite of what Caradoc wants. I want you to help me resurrect King Arthur. Properly this time. Ridiculous, I know. But yes, that's what it boils down to. At some point, we stopped seeing eye to eye and chose different paths. Ultimately, though, both our paths led to you. Yes, please let me explain. By the end of his life, Arthur became obsessed with his legacy. He left mementos, artifacts that embodied the virtues he wanted Avalon to preserve. Excalibur, a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. The crown of Pendragon, a beacon of courage and resilience. The shield of Palamedes, wisdom and independence. But Merlin and the others didn't believe that would be enough. The memory of war and the fragility of peace was still too fresh. So they acted. When the king died, his soul wasn't allowed to move on. It was shattered, bound to those artifacts. A clever solution, but ultimately flawed. They feared losing what Arthur represented more than losing Arthur himself. They thought the king's essence would endure if bound to his relics. You can't pick and choose with a soul, but that's exactly what Merlin did. He focused on 3 parts of Arthur: his strength, wisdom, and courage. He left out 2 pieces. One, tainted by the Four Dwellers' magic, was deemed too dangerous. The other was his humanity, the most fragile part. Merlin thought compassion and doubt were weaknesses, unfit for a king. Without them, Arthur became hollow. A king with power, but no heart. That way, Avalon's greatest failure was born. I tried, and I found his humanity. It's here, bound, kept safe. But the Four Dwellers' aspects was left to drift, untethered between worlds. Finding it needed more than magic. It needed someone like you. The horrors you endured on that island gave you something no one else has. You can move through the weirdness, touch it, and return whole. That's why you found the king's soul, bound it to yourself, and came back. You flatter me. No, I couldn't have predicted all of that. I merely nudged the Red Church in the right direction and asked Caradoc to assist where I couldn't. I can see you're still doubting me. I want to bring back our king, whole and complete. I want him to lead again and safeguard Avalon's future. because I've seen what happens without him. Weirdness preys on the weak, and the people are too divided to stand against it alone. Arthur is their only hope. Ever they're left without him, without guidance, chaos takes hold. Division festers. You've seen it during your journeys. If things continue this way, Avalon will tear itself apart long before weirdness finishes the job. They will follow him. That's what people do. When weirdness comes to their doorstep, they'll beg for a savior. And Arthur will answer the call. Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
I was there when it all began, when Arthur first set foot on Avalon. I was a knight in his army. We believed in him, in his dream, in his kingdom. And for a while, it was glorious. Every battle felt like a step closer to peace. Every sacrifice justified by the dream we shared. But then came the cost. The war crimes, the impossible decisions, the massacres, slaughters, and irrational cruelty. We turned from knights into butchers, all because his dream demanded it of us. At first I told myself it was necessary, that it was the price of building something great. But the longer it went on, the harder it was to believe. That's when I realized Arthur wasn't a god, a savior, or a king. He was just another man, no different from the rest of us. And no man should have the power to demand such sacrifices. But do you understand why I want it so much? I'd like to believe that after 600 years I've moved past pettiness. You need to understand that people thought, and still think, that he was more than human. But he wasn't. He made mistakes, just like any man. And the cost of those mistakes was always paid for by others. I've seen what happens when people cling to kings and myths. They wait, they follow. They waste their lives on promises that never meant anything. But that's not my problem. I'm not here to fix Avalon, or to free anyone. What comes after doesn't matter. Let it all burn, let it rot, let it rebuild. I won't be here to see it. Arthur's the only myth that still holds weight. And when he's gone, the rest will rot with him. A puppet king, another empty throne, none of it will last. Maybe they'll keep pretending for a while. Maybe they won't. Then let it. If this world can't stand without a dead king propping it up, maybe it deserves to fall. Let them stand, let them fall. It's not my concern. If the weirdness takes them, so be it. At least it won't be another king's failure. Another lie propping up a dying world. It'll just be what it is. Call it chaos, call it freedom, I don't care. Let them rise, let them fall. Let them tear each other apart. I just want to watch it all come down, to see the last lie collapse under its own weight. What comes after? That's for the ones still standing to figure out. I've lived longer than any man should, seen more than anyone should ever bear. And I've waited centuries for this moment, this chance, to end it all, to end him. Arthur isn't Avalon's hope. He's its curse. He's the chain that keeps it bound to the past, dragging it down no matter how far it tries to climb. We were fools to tamper with forces we didn't understand. Resurrecting Arthur, infusing him with powers of the weirdness. We didn't just bend the natural laws, we shattered them. Such violations of nature's order cannot go unanswered. The bill comes due, sooner or later. Always. This cannot be allowed to continue. Listen, it's taken longer than I ever imagined, but now, here we are. You've done what no one else could, what even I couldn't do. You've brought Arthur's soul back together, almost complete, but not quite. And because of you, I can finally finish what I started centuries ago. So, thank you for bringing us to this moment. You're close now. Just one more step. The last fragment of Arthur's soul is waiting for you. Complete what you came here for. And then, we'll meet again. As allies, or as enemies. That's up to you. Go. Find the last piece, and let's end this. Whatever comes next, I'll be ready. I hope you will be too. Go.
You've come. The one who carries what's left of me. Please, don't come any closer. Don't force me to think about coming back again. Just let me finally die. Because I've had enough. Enough of being torn apart and stitched back together. Enough of being used, shaped, and forced to be something I'm not. Do you know what it is like to be a king of nothing? To see the people you swore to protect suffer because of your choices? Or worse, in your name. I've seen towns burnt to the ground, families destroyed, all because someone thought it would serve the greater good. And they called it loyalty. They called it justice. I've been dragged through every dream, every lie they've built around me, and I'm tired. Tired of the weight, of the expectations, of all of it. And most of all, I'm tired of failing. Orin wants a king, not me. He doesn't see the broken man behind the myth. He sees a symbol, a weapon to wield against the weirdness. But symbols aren't people. They're empty. And the more they're used, the more they hollow out the one who carries them. That's all I've ever been to Orin and the Druids. Do you know what it's like to be a weapon? To be forged, sharpened, and thrown at every problem? He thinks ending me will free Avalon. But what then? Without an idea, a light to guide them, they'll stumble, lose their way, and turn on each other. People always seek something to follow, something to believe in. Take that away, and they'll tear each other apart trying to find it. Or worse, build something even crueler in its place. I want release. I want to stop being a tool in their endless struggle. Kill me. Destroy the last piece of me and use the energy however you wish. Take it yourself and become the new king. Give it to someone else. I don't care. Just don't let me come back again. Let me die. Not as Arthur, not as the king, just as a simple, normal human being. I don't care. Do you know how freeing that is, to finally not care what happens next? Whether Orin gets his king or Caradoc gets his ruin? To not feel the burden of all my failures? To not see my memory tarnished, my plans, goals, and ambitions dragged through the mud? To not see the suffering my name causes? No more deaths in my shadow. No more kingdoms built on my bones. Isn't that what you've been doing all along? Carrying what's left of him? You've already taken up the humanity I was meant to represent. Doesn't that prove Arthur doesn't need me anymore? Another way? There's always another way, isn't there? Another cycle, another resurrection, another lie to keep the world spinning. But please, not for me. Not anymore. I've had enough. I don't want another chance. I want this to be over. Do what you think is right. That's all I can tell you, because whatever you decide, it will finally be your choice, not mine, not theirs. And that's the only thing I've ever wanted. You hold the choice. I don't care who you side with, Orin, Caradoc, or no one at all. You have all of my soul. Use it. Take it for yourself. Or give it to someone else. I don't even want to know. Do what you will with it. Just let me go. Let me finally rest. Let me die. Please. Let me.
Help me bring the king back. Now you need to go. I made my case. This is the only...
Go on.
Let me go. Let me finally rest.
You carried a dying king across the bones of a dying world. Now you stand before what started it all. An idea. I am the reason there must be an ending. I do not guide. I do not judge. I exist so that something can be chosen. I do not offer meaning. I require that one be made. You have brought all things to their conclusion. Now, decide what must remain. Choose, and let the shape of the world follow. He shall find his way home. The tear between the worlds shall close. You will shape the world to become its witness. You will be seen. You will be followed. You will be blamed. You will break the frame, and what follows will not remember you. You will vanish into the story you chose to restore. Then the prince will ascend and return to his mother. The heart shall cease its bleeding. Through his ascension, the weirdness will be tamed.
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
You uncovered the truth buried in the weirdness and used it to return Arthur to where he truly belonged, ending the cycle and securing Avalon's future. The Four-Dweller Mother's heart, no longer bleeding, sealed the wound in the world, and with it, ended the Red Death that had stolen so many lives. And so, the legend of King Arthur began to fade. In its place grew a stronger Avalon, where the weirdness was no longer feared, but understood. With One Eye and Captain Brandon working side by side, the South found a peace it hadn't known in years. The roads stayed open, the fields were guarded, and the people finally felt safe. No longer bound to Camelot or the Knights of the Round Table, it became a land ruled by its own people on its own terms. Because of you, the men here remained and the Kuanacht endured, not just as a place, but as a legacy of quiet defiance and hope. Lord Yvain was remembered as a hero who gathered the wise and set out in search of the Grail, while Kuanacht stood as a peaceful haven amid the weirdness. You awakened the giants, only to command their end, leaving no power behind for either side to claim. Without their strength, the balance held, but the divide between Camelot and the Dal Rita remained, wide, bitter, and far from settled. Feargas was named the new Galahad the Loyal. With One Eye and Brandon unable to rally the Dal Rita of the Forlorn Swords, the South remained divided. Feargas prepared Camelot's forces to reclaim the region by strength, determined to restore unity through conquest if necessary. The captain led the South to independence, breaking all ties with Camelot. Under his rule, the Horns of the South flourished. Merchants, pilgrims, and adventurers returned to the roads, and prosperity once again reached the far corners of the land. One Eye ruled the South with the Horns of the South at his side. The Dal Rita, the Forlorn Swords, remained divided, leaving the South strong but isolated. Without wider unity, his rule endured for a time. The future beyond his leadership remained uncertain. Nianta left Kuanacht with Yvain, and her fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Magat left Kuanacht alongside Yvain, surprising many who had long considered him harmless and weak. His fate remained unknown, but in time, the people spoke proudly of the last druid, claiming him as one of their own. Eothra left Kuanacht alongside Yvain, despite concerns about his age. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life, and spoke of him with lasting respect. Ailey turned to the merchants for support, and for a time the hospital prospered. But when they began charging patients for care, she walked away and opened her own small practice, refusing to serve profit over healing. The Volker joined the rest of the Dal Rita without a matron and without Mathar's blessing. Even so, their warriors kept the ferocity they had once been famed for, tempered now by a clarity that left the other tribes uneasy. They were respected, but only barely. For what greater dishonor is there than turning one's back on the goddess who had made them what they were? Ingui turned away from the eternal sleep, choosing life over dreams. In time, she began to rebuild the Thoid among the living, planting the first seeds of a new future for her scattered people. Under Stronner's leadership, the Ulfra found new strength. He rebuilt the tribe and reunited them with the rest of the Dal Rita, restoring their place among the tribes of the Forlorn Swords. Following Glerna's path, the Sven clung to the old ways, their faith sustained by the Stagfather's living presence within the unrealm of the hunt. They turned inward, shunning outsiders, and deepened their devotion to the blood-stained rites of their ancestors. You made a pact with the Four-Dwellers, freeing them only once they agreed to leave behind their knowledge. One was lost to madness, but another fulfilled the promise, placing a stone woven with the song at the feet of the Stone Wardens. Through it, the craft survived into a new age. After you fell to the Red Death, Bior withdrew from the world. He claimed he would never give his heart again, carrying your memory in silence for the rest of his days. After returning to Camelot, Killian lived quietly for a time. When he vanished, few asked questions. Unsettling rumors had always followed him, and most preferred not to remember. Proud of her newfound ability to fly, Muriel returned to Tuathan to deliver her report. The Four-Dwellers, seeing that she had survived and been treated with care, took it as a rare sign of hope, that perhaps, at last, humanity might be ready for dialogue. O Queen Cinnamon Sage never forgot the bond he shared with you. Proud of the path you chose, he built a small shop near your grave, and in quiet moments, still spoke to you as he once did. A friend loyal beyond the bounds of life.
Fall